All of these books have someone basically dead. Wow, am I okay? Hello, my beautiful bookish blueberry strudel muffins. I need to say, there was something in the air this February. There had to be something in the air that I was able to read. Oh, 13 books. Okay, do we see this? Not counting the ones on my Kindle. Well, it counts towards the 13, but like not pictured here. You understand what I'm saying, whatever. But they were also bangers. Quality reads. I met some gorgeous book boyfriends in here that I was like, you know what, maybe I was not so alone this Valentine's Day. I had my heart emotionally trampled on. I had some laughs, I had some cries, but I wanted to do a little February reading wrap up with a little yes, no, and maybe, and kind of like talking to you about said book. Do I start with my Kindle? Can I find my Kindle? There she is. I'm going in no particular order whatsoever, but I did end the month off with That's Not My Name by Megan Lawley. When I tell you, this was a huge yes for me. Basically, quick synopsis, a girl wakes up in the middle of the woods. She's like all bloody. She was actually in a ditch and she has no memory. I'm talking like she doesn't know her name. She has no idea what happened to her. She gets found by the police and this man comes up saying, actually, I'm her father and I have the birth certificate and everything, like that's my daughter, but she's feeling a little sus about it. But this story is actually told in dual POV because it doesn't just focus on the girl who has no memory and is going through this tragic event, but in the next town over, there's a high school boy who's being accused of doing something to his missing girlfriend. So wonderfully done. The twist, okay. I gave this 4.5 stars and I do recommend it because it is YA. I was like, wait, this is incredibly done for a YA thriller. I was able to figure out the first half of the twist. I was like, yeah, I have a feeling that this was like gonna happen. But the second half, the way Miss Megan recovered and had me going, I was reading this at work and I was literally like, I was gagged. There were just certain parts in the book itself where I was like, this just doesn't feel like this would actually slide in real life. Like certain things were just happening a little too easily and I was like, we could have put a little more like oomph, like a little more dramatics into this. But I rated this a 4.5, highly recommend it. If you need like a thriller, you're trying to get into thriller, this is the way to go. And it's YA, so it's not like super scary. I know some thrillers are pretty gory. And sticking to my Kindle reads, I actually got approved for the ARC for Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. This cover, stunning. Look at them, looking at the sunset, like standing on the ferry, just like it's a beautiful cover. Looks fucking deceived. The way I was sobbing in the middle of the night over this book, there was not one chapter where I was not in tears. This book, did I even say yes? I need to make sure that I'm saying the yes before I go into my tangent. Yes. I actually buddy read this with my friend Emma. The way we were sobbing at work, it follows a girl named Lenny who recently just lost her best friend Lou to cancer. And she's going through the struggles of grief. And she's actually a nanny on the Upper East Side for a young girl named Ainsley. Well, she becomes her nanny at the beginning of the book. And she meets Ainsley's uncle Miles. And Miles is this is the superior book Miles. You know Miles in Funny Story? Superior. He's superior. Miles in Promise Me Sunshine, simply superior. This man, the way he helped her get through this grief, their love story, their banter, the humor. Yeah. You need to pick this one up. This is her second book. This woman is Abby Jimenez, Emily Henry quality worthy of reading. And they're like up there. Oh, she's up there. I thought she was like far more well established. She only has one other book. So beautiful, but I'm telling you, bring tissues. My girl did her big one with that novel. I feel like that's gonna put her on the map if I'm being completely honest with you. Like that is going to be the book that puts her on the map. And the final book I got to read on my Kindle, which is also an ARC, was from the wait, why is the cover not showing? The book is open, baby. There we go. The final book that I got to read on my Kindle was an ARC so graciously gifted to me by my friend, Miss Riley Winters. My girl put out her debut novel, The New York Charm. Yes, when I tell you, this was so cute. Debut novel who? You've been writing for years in my head, Riley. Like the way this was written, this is giving 2000s rom-com with a Sex and the City friend group, with a Devil Wears Prada workplace, with the second chance romance. I love this. I thought it was so cute, so bingeable. I freaking love this book so much that I was reading it on the treadmill and I went past my elapsed time. Like my goal was like, I'm gonna walk for 30 minutes. I walked for an hour. That's like a marker of a good book. I willingly put myself through more exercise to finish a book. Okay, now let's get into the physical book because this stack is actually a monstrosity. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pick it up. I'm not strong emotionally and I'm not strong physically. This is the stack. We're gonna do this in no particular order. If you expect me to remember the order I read these in February, you're really asking for a lot. You know what the order is gonna be? The order I stack them in. Let's go. The first two books we're gonna be talking about is kind of like a duology situation. It's Next of Kin and Next to You by Miss Hannah Bonham Young. Yes. Honestly, this is like a, yeah, you should read it. This is like a, yes. If you don't read it, we're gonna have problems. This man right here, where do I find myself a 6'1" Samoan man? Where do I find myself a 6'1" Samoan man who loves his family, who is the kindest, most affectionate person in the entire world, who addresses every single love language, who helps fix up a bus with me? Where do I find him? Where is he? Hannah, who gave you this inspiration? It has to be a real person. What's his address? Where does he live? I like threw this book to the side to talk about this one. This one follows Chloe and Warren. They're actually both foster children, but this book starts off with Chloe finding out that her biological mom actually gave birth to her sister, but her mom is like a recovering addict, still in addiction kind of situation, so she's not able to take care of the baby. So Chloe decides to take care of the baby because she doesn't want to put her through foster care because she's already been through that system. And when they're doing the wellness check for her house, they're like, everything looks good, but girl, you're broke. Like, girl, you're broke. Like, how are you gonna take care of yourself and a baby? And she was like, I don't want to put this baby in foster care. What can I do to like jump over this hurdle? They're like, we have this little program where one person is lacking something and the other person has it. We match them together and they live together and blah, 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 blah. So she's like, okay, word, let me do that. Like, somebody has money and I don't. Like, this is perfect. She's like, yeah, it's this guy named Warren. He's pretty much an asshole. If you like Jess from Gilmore Girls, that's your man right there. I literally think the dedication of this book was to people who think Rory's best boyfriend. This book is dedicated to those who think Jess was Rory's best boyfriend. The rest of you are wrong. See why I love Hannah? See why I love Hannah? Because she just gets it. She gets what the girl is like. Their love is a little insta-lovey for me, okay? Just a little bit, which is kind of why I was like, okay, this is like good, but I really did enjoy it. And the representation for people with hearing impairments, so wonderfully done. Loved it. Love that there was sign in this book. This book, between me and you, don't be afraid. I'm just gonna get a little close. Friends to lovers is the elite trope. You know how much yearning is in friends to lovers? The years of relationships building up, feeling so close to each other, watching each other go for other people, knowing all along that you love each other, and realizing I want to be with you, but I don't want to compromise the friendship, the stakes. This is the most passionate friends to lovers book I've ever read in my life. Also, the mental health representation in this book, chef's kiss. I buddy read this with my friend Kaylee, and she actually met Hannah Bonham Young, and she said herself, she writes romances about normal people. Normal romances about normal people. And that's why I eat her books up. Like, I'm like, because it gives me hope. Basically, follows our girl Lane. She ends up kissing Matt at a New Year's Eve party drunk off her ass, but Lane struggles with agoraphobia. Hold on. Agoraphobia. I got it right. Yeah. She's struggling like with family situations. She lost her father, so she's dealing with the grief of her father. She has a sister who's a perfectionist who she like wants to be more like, but she also like kind of is in a qualm with her all the time, but they're still friends. Like, it's a weird family dynamic. And then randomly, impulsively, the night of her birthday party, she's drunk off her ass, goes on like Craigslist and finds a school bus, and she's like, I want to renovate it and paint a school bus and live in it. And her friend Matt is a mechanic, so he has like an auto body shop, and she's like, hey Matt, I bought a school bus. I don't have like a CDL license. Can you come up with me so we can drive it back down to wherever they live? I don't remember where they live. I don't remember where they live. I don't remember where I live. Okay? They decide to make a trip to go up there, get the bus, and like the way their relationship develops, the spice. Guys, this book was so good. I gave it 5 stars. Read this one so you can read this one. That's all I have to say. Oh, but just you wait. I read 2 more incredible bangers this month. Swift and Saddled, Lost and Lassoed, Miss Lila Sage. Yes. Cowboy romances. I love them. My guilty pleasure? No, not even guilty. My obsessive pleasure are cowboy romances. The first book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, Done and Dusted, I enjoyed. I read it, I think, in maybe 24 hours. I was like, okay, this is good. I like this. I loved the other characters in the story more than Clementine, and I don't remember the guy's name. Luke. I liked the other characters in the book more than Clementine and Luke. I was like, okay, I should give the rest of the series a shot. I put it on the back burner for a while. And then I think I read this after I read Legendborn, which we'll talk about. So I was like, let me just pick up Swift and Saddled. This is quick. 24 hours, done. And then Lost and Lassoed. I gave this a 4.5 star only because I know Wild and Wrangled is coming out. So I don't know if that's going to be my favorite in the series. Currently my favorite in the series, yes indeed. They're basically interconnected standalones. They're all cowboy romances. Every MMC is a cowboy. It's just the FMC who's different and their relationships in the family that are different. So we have Ada. She's actually helping refurbish and like reconstruct one of the houses on one of the barns, one of the spaces on Rebel Blue Ranch for this man named West. She comes into Wyoming. This is set in Wyoming. That's where I want to be. Wyoming, where the cowboys are. She's a city girl. She comes into Wyoming. She's in this bar at night, has a little too much to drink. This guy's giving her the eyes. They make out. Hot and passionate making out. Like, this is gonna escalate make out. They get stopped. The next day, she decides to go to meet the guy she's working on the project with, West. Oh, turns out she was making out with him. And it's a little awkward. The romance is lovely. This one, single dad, Black Cat FMC, humor, banter, enemies to lovers. Sorry, I need to readjust. My foot is asleep. My foot is like fully asleep. Wake up! Gus is actually Clementine's brother from the first book. Teddy is Clementine's best friend from the first book. Always hated each other. And he has a child from another woman named Cammy. She's like another woman in the Rebel Blue universe. And Gus is like taking over the family ranch, so he's kind of forgetting his responsibilities with his child because Cammy's like away doing something. Do you see how bad this review is? Like, am I even explaining anything about this book? Cammy is away on business. Gus is taking care of his daughter because he's now a single father at this point. And they're also not together anymore, so he's a single father, period. He's now helping take over the ranch, which is his father's ranch, which is like all of Rebel Blue. But he keeps forgetting about his daughter because he has ranch responsibilities. Teddy is used in for some help and is kind of like a nanny, like not like a nanny, but kind of, because like they're friends and he does pay her. So I guess it is a nanny. But basically, she spends a lot of time with this kid. They spend more time with each other. You can only imagine what happens next. Listen, our next 2 books in the pile, Better Than the Movies and The Do-Over. I have some words. Yes to Better Than the Movies. Very cheesy. It's about a girl who's obsessed with rom-coms. She's trying to get the perfect guy in her life after losing her mother. All of these books have someone basically dead. Wow, am I okay? Maybe it was by happenstance. I almost said happen chance. Is that the word or is it happenstance? Whatever. Better Than the Movies follows a girl who lost her mother and is living with her father and stepmother, and she's like super obsessed with rom-coms. She's trying to find her Prince Charming. She's trying to find her man. And she finally thinks she finds this man. It's actually one of her old childhood friends who comes back into town after like living in the country or something. I don't know where he went. I don't even know where they're from. This shit says Barbie Dream House on the back. Like, they're from the Barbie, guys are from Malibu. He comes from the country and she's like, oh my God, he's perfect. I always loved him as a kid. Like I always had a crush on him as a kid. I want him. Ends up getting her frenemy, who's another guy, to help her become the perfect girl for him because they're friends. Guys, this is so bad. When I tell you this book was so cheesy and so corny, why were there 40-page chapters? Miss Lynn Painter. 40 for what? Make the font smaller. Why were the chapters 40 pages? Super cute, super great. The end really did piss me off a little bit, but then I was like, okay, recovered. The final ending was recovered. The Do-Over, hard maybe. This one was fine. I read it the day before Valentine's Day, I think, because I really needed like a read. Basically, it's a girl who gets stuck in a time loop on Valentine's Day after eating her grandma's bad pepper. Like it was like maybe too corny for my liking. Again, these are YA. I cringed more than I wanted to. Like in the loop, she gets stuck in a car accident every single day. Like can you imagine the emotional trauma and the whiplash of being in a car accident every single day? Homegirl takes the back routes, car accident. Homegirl takes a bike, car accident. But that's not like the point of it. Like it's just a really shitty re-loop of Valentine's Day every day until she does one thing to change her loop that she doesn't even know. Like it's interesting. Like the concept is weird. Let's move on. Take a minute. Take a minute. I'm gonna get real close again. Okay. If you don't read this book, Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is a huge yes if you couldn't tell. Like I just threatened you on camera. Never in my wildest dreams could I have ever imagined a YA novel to blow me away. Like my socks actually blew off like my feet were cold. Guys, this changed my life. But basically, our girl Brie Matthews, she's 16 years old, but she's like super smart. So she's in a pre-college program at UNC Chapel Hill. And her first night there, she's like, she has her freedom and all this stuff. Also, her mom is dead. Guys, her mom just passed away. And I'm not laughing like oh my, Brie, I'm so sorry. But why is everybody dead? She's at this party, like first night out, and she sees a monster, like literally sees a monster, but nobody else sees it. She sees the monster, then she sees a magical being slay the monster. And she's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And the magical being's like, you saw that. And she's like, yes, I did. And he's like, you're not supposed to see that. And he like mesmers her, that's the word. He's like, you can't see that, and like erases her memory. Her memory does not get erased. She gets caught at said party by the police. They're like, you're literally not supposed to be here. You're literally in a pre-college program. You're 16. You should not be at this party. The principal's like, you're lucky I don't expel you. Well, like, is there a principal of a college? I don't know, but like the headmaster? That's like some Harry Potter thing. I don't know. The principal's like, you're lucky I don't expel you. I'm assigning you to this advisor and he's gonna watch over you. He's a really great student in college. They both become aware that Brie can see the monsters. Nick actually ends up telling her that he's a part of like a secret society at the college, and she finds out they're all magical beings who are descendants of King Arthur, like medieval King Arthur, like King Arthur. They all have magic. Bree's like, whoa, you guys are all magical beings. He's like, yeah, actually, and we're getting pledges now so they can join the order, like this circle. And Bree's like, I want to be your pledge. And he's like, no. He's like, if I got mesmered and they took away my memories, but they never did, and I was able to combat it, does that not mean something? And then he was like, okay, true. But he was like, I don't want you getting targeted. Surprise, she's a black woman. She gets targeted. And then Bree's going through this journey of becoming a page in the order and then going through the order itself. She's trying to actually figure out the death of her mother and what happened. But then Bree actually believes that it was a targeted hit, but they were mesmered into not believing it was a targeted hit and that she just passed away. And you would be like, why would they hit her mom on purpose? Like, because they have magic. And Bree is a descendant from an entire bloodline of magic. Magic that actually comes from her enslaved ancestors. So wonderful. This book goes over such important information. Like I said, the process of grieving, sexism, racism, slavery, power imbalances, educational privilege, so many important topics. And it's done in a YA format. Wonderfully done. Highly recommend the audiobook. Next, I put my big girl pants on. I'm gonna tippy tappy tap some emails to some publishers and say, hey guys, I have a pretty decent following on Book Talk. I heard about this book that you guys are publishing soon. May I have a physical arc to review? And I immediately heard back from William Morrow Publishers for Killer Potential by Hannah Deitch. She sent this to me. The publisher sent this to me, came to my house in a day. The scream I scrumped. The way I cried. The way I genuinely could not believe that I'm holding a book that is not for sale. Wow. And then I read it. I didn't even say yes, no, maybe. You know what, let me just say, this book altered my brain chemistry. Reading this book made me feel like I was sat reading, but while I was reading, my head was actually cut open, and there were scientists performing surgery on my brain, physically altering my brain chemistry. Take a look. Just look at it. Look at it. First of all, beautiful. Just take a look at it. Literary fiction meets thriller, meets Thelma and Louise, has dark humor, talks about academic privilege, has a romance subplot. Oh, and did I say this is her debut? This is her debut novel, and I gave it a 5-star. Incredible. Let me tell you what it is about, because I remember this plot through and through. Our main character, Eve, her name is Eve, right? Evie. Our main character, Evie, has always been a straight A honors student. She's always been in advanced placement classes. She's just been that smart girl in school her whole entire life, always told, oh my god, you have so much potential. Like, you are going to go and do such big things in your life. You have the most potential ever. Evie is now currently an SAT tutor. She got an expensive art history degree, and she's now struggling as an SAT tutor in California. She tutors like a bunch of wealthy families. Girl is living paycheck to paycheck, and she is miserable because she constantly feels like, I did not live up to my potential. Evie ends up going into one of her clients' homes up in like Beverly Hills or something. She steps into the house, puts all the study materials down, and she's like, where is my girl Serena? Like, where's my student? Goes to the backyard to check because the backyard door was like slid open a little bit. Her mom and dad are dead. Not her mom and dad, Serena's mom and dad are dead, murdered actually. The dad's head is like in a koi pond, like he's like drowned in there. And then the mom's entire face is bashed open on the side, just dead. Oh no, what's important was the mom was laying like flat down. So Evie like thought she heard her breathing. So she picks her up to like see like, are you okay? Blood all over this woman's hands. Are you dumb? Straight A student, are you stupid? Me. Straight A student with no common sense. That would have been me. And then she starts hearing, help, please, help. And she's like, huh? My homegirl Evie hears the sound, goes to underneath the staircase because she's hearing this help, help, help. Opens it, there's somebody tied up in the staircase. Evie's like, there's a hostage? Were they keeping the hostage in there? Or was this a hostage with the murder? Like, what is going on? So she's like, I'm untying you because you're a hostage and you need to be set free because you look super malnourished. Unties her, takes her out. Serena comes home and she's like, you have blood all over your hands. There's a strange woman standing next to you who looks so disheveled. You guys killed my parents. Serena goes and whacks the phone at Evie, cutting her ear. Serena's about to strike again. Hits Serena. Serena's knocked unconscious on the ground. Then all of a sudden, Serena's boyfriend comes in, sees Serena unconscious on the ground, sees her parents dead, sees these two women and goes, you guys murdered this entire family. And now they have no choice but to go on the run because now they are the two most wanted murderers in the United States. Unreal. Thank you so much, Hannah. Hannah followed me on Instagram and liked my post on this book. I'm gonna keep this one short. Magnolia Park's a Long Way Home. Yes. Read the entire series. The first book, you may be like, I didn't really like this. It just keeps getting better. This book, right around here, oh, the way I almost threw up. A lot of it was sad, but like this, I almost threw up. Just read the whole series. This is actually the first book I read in February, so look at that full circle moment. My book of the month pick, Killing Cold, Kate Alice Marshall. This book shocked me. If you like Knives Out, you would like this one. Oh, did I say yes? Maybe. I don't remember the girl's name. The main girl is dating this guy. They get engaged after like 6 months. He's like, my family's actually pretty rich. You want to go up to our little snow cabin situation? They have multiple cabins like upstate, like in the snow. And she's like, yeah, let's go. Like, I want to meet your family. They go up there. She's getting all these like text messages saying like, stay away from him. His family's a bunch of wackadoodles. She's up there and she's like, this place is like eerily familiar. They tell her about this cabin. They're like, oh, don't go there. It's being reconstructed. It's like off limits. Like, somebody fell off that roof and died. The guy's father fell off the roof and died. One night, my girl sees somebody in the window watching her. She freaks the fuck out. My girl starts having hallucinations. She decides, I want to go into this cabin because I'm literally being called to this cabin. Goes into the cabin. She finds a picture of herself in the cabin as a child with a man. And she's like, what the actual fuck? I've literally been here before. It's a picture of them in that cabin. Everything starts unfolding where she's like realizing like she actually has been here and she starts understanding more about her family. It was getting really good. When the major plot twist happened, I was like, whoa. Then right around here, my girl started pulling out every plot twist in the book. Why did we need 26 extra plot twists to serve the main one? The main one was, for me, strong. The rest were unnecessary. Short and easy to read, which I liked, but the end was not easy to read. But, oh, Ow. She's getting back at me, actually. She's like, you're next. Yeah, maybe. Okay, guys, that was it. We made it through. And that is it, my beautiful book besties. I know you're tired. I know you're tired of hearing my voice. February was a stellar month for me. I really don't know how March is going to be able to compete with this. But let me know, what was your favorite read of February? Did you read any of these books? Have you read any of these books? Do we have the same opinions? I'm wishing you an incredible March with incredible reads. And I can't wait to see your reading wrap-ups. If nobody told you today, I love you so, so, so much. And the chaos is only increasing. The more comfortable I am on camera, it's only increasing. And one day I'm gonna be way too comfortable. I'm gonna scare you guys away.